Welcome to the Two Guys Show on the EdReach Network. This is the 25th episode of the Two Guys Show. Giving educators a big voice. That's what the EdReach Network does. I am one of your co-hosts as always, Drew Minnock, and you can find me on Twitter at TechMinnock, or you can always find us on our blog at twoguysandsomeipads.com. This show is going to run a little differently than normal. We actually have more than one guest, but we're going to have fun like we always do. So my other co-host is always the much older gentleman to the far left of my screen. I don't know how he is on yours.
Here we go.
Oh, it's already started. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Two Guys Show on the EdReach Network. We are so pleased to have you with us tonight. I am Brad Wade, known as Tech Brad Wade on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter. You can find us on the show tonight. And again, we want to thank you and tell you we have two wonderful authors with us tonight. We have Starr Sackstein and we have Jena Ball. So, ladies, thank you for joining us tonight. And after we give you a welcome, we're going to let you tell us a little bit about yourself. So thank you for joining us, you two.
Okay. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. Starr, let's start with you. Why don't you tell us a 2-minute version, a little bio about yourself.
2 minutes, huh? I could probably do it in less.
Sounds like a challenge.
I've been teaching for 12 years. I teach high school English now, writing my whole life as long as I can remember. But I love being in the classroom with the kids. Mother of one, Logan, 8.
All right.
We talked about him earlier. And I'm all about change, trying to shake up education right now, trying to get people to think about just what's not working, what needs to be changed to make it work better.
Awesome.
That's so you.
That's definitely true. There's a lot of things that aren't working, but there are a lot of awesome things that are. So.
Well, good. Sure. Thank you. And as people are going to find out tonight, we are all closely tied. It's funny because just talking pre-show, we just got some more information about how we're tied together through mutual friends and stuff like that. So Jena, why don't you give us you're up? Why don't you give us a little overview? You've been discussed on the show before. Through
all
Marty.
in glowing terms, of course.
Oh, really? Nothing but the best. So why don't you give us a little overview about you and what you're doing, what you're up to?
Okay, well, I describe myself as a writer, illustrator, and educator. But to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know really what I am. I've been supporting myself most of my life as a writer. This is true. But I've written everything from a syndicated humor column to Akio Morita's speeches, to technical papers, to now children's books. So that's one whole area of my life. But I also spent 10 years in Japan teaching English and learning all about the Japanese culture. At one time or another, I've been a bus driver, bartender, chef. The list goes on and on and on. So I've done a lot of things, and I think that's probably when you ask, what's unique about me, is that I'm interested in so many things, and I know Starr can speak to this too. As a journalist, that lets you get involved in anything and everything, and I'm just fascinated by the human spirit. Really, I think that's what it is.
Awesome. That's great. So as we were saying, we mentioned Marty already. We've talked about Marty. Marty and Jena are doing a great project together, and they're tied together. And we're going to discuss that a little more when we get into discussion with Jena. But when we were talking with Starr, you just had a visitor earlier this week, just a day or two ago. Who was your visitor?
Marty came to visit me, and actually, literally came to my area. Didn't even make me go anywhere else. We met at Starbucks and just started chatting about everything education and connecting with each other in person and having everybody sort of be more than just this Twitter handle and voice from afar. And the hour that we spent together went way faster than I could have ever anticipated. He's easy to talk to. For sure.
Absolutely.
So, Starr, here's a real question. Did you even get a word in, or did Marty pretty much just chat the whole time?
There we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Can you imagine what's going to happen when the three of them get together?
Yeah, I can't even imagine. He was very, very gentlemanly, gave me lots of time to speak, and he raised his kids in the 5 towns, which is where I grew up, so we had a lot of common stories from the neighborhood to kind of talk about, which was nice also.
That's
Well, he
awesome.
really
Marty knows we
shares your
love him.
passion for education. I mean, he came away from that meeting saying, "Wow, there are people out there like Starr who get it, and they're really out to make a change and make a difference, and that's wonderful and everything." So he must have made a good impression.
Well,
Well done.
just
Yeah,
being me, you know what it is. Like I think that especially growing up where I did, there's a lot of fakeness that kind of goes around when you come from an affluent area. And
What is the 5 towns? That's
oh,
what he keeps talking about. What is that?
it's like a little area in southwestern Nassau on Long Island that is
Oh, Long
plenty
Island.
of
Okay.
wealth and not very much diversity. And I mean, with that came a great education. I can't complain about that, and a great group of friends that I made, but I was eager to leave the area when
Yeah.
I could find a little diversity and kind of mix with people who were a little bit more eclectic and interesting. Not to say that there weren't folks like that there, but not many.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
so Starr, you talked about this a little bit already. You said you've been writing since long as you can remember, since you were a student, you were a kid. So to you, why don't you elaborate on why you think it's important to have writing in school? Why should kids be writing in school? What's your take on that?
I think it's all about voice. My job really as an English teacher is to help facilitate opportunities for kids to develop themselves and their own authentic voice, which is, I think, sort of the focus of my classes. I kind of take myself out of the driver's seat. As a matter of fact, today in class I walked out. My students were so engaged, I probably could have left class for 10 minutes and they
That's
would
fantastic.
And
Fantastic.
that's my goal. And at the beginning of the year, when I said to them, stop asking me about your grades, stop asking me how I'm doing.
Good for
At
you.
the end of the year, talk to me about what you've learned, and we could have a fruitful conversation about your writing, your progress, your thought, whatever thought-provoking questions you can actually come up with that you won't need me at the end of this space, and I'll be happy to say that I've done my part and I can just join the conversation as a participant. And kids surprise you. You give them that, you give them the space,
Oh, yeah.
you give them the tools, and then you step away and you let them be awesome and you just let it happen. And I'm fortunate because every day I have the courage to step away and they teach me something new every day.
Do you grade them?
Unfortunately, I have to. In New
Yeah.
York City, there is a system that requires report card grades, but I definitely had like a serious inner conflict this last go around. Recently, I read Ken O'Connor's 15 Fixes for Broken Grades, and it really left an impact. I've been blogging about it a lot.
Love your blog.
Just thank you.
Absolutely.
So much about achievement and this idea that achievement shouldn't be based on, obedience, compliance, lateness, habits of mind. I think those things are important. I'm a journalist. I believe in deadlines. I believe in the importance of these things. I just don't think that they have any role in judging a child's achievement. And there's such an inner conflict. As an overachiever myself, I would have been one of those kids where justice would have been an issue at some point or another. And I think now really taking an inventory of that, I don't agree with grading, and it bothers me to have to give one grade for a high school English class that meets more than 3 dozen standards. Mm-hmm. So, how do you average that? One kid is really awesome at showing evidence, but not really great at writing thesis statements or cohesion. What gets more, I don't know, just something I'm
right there with you.
Well, we had that exact question in our building today, Drew and I, with our staff today, just talking about, we're looking at, rubrics and report cards and stuff. And, if we're told to report on something, but that one, looking at Common Core has 4 different things on it, how do we break that apart? Just looking at the difficulties in that, because, okay, so they're really strong in 3 of the 4 areas. At the elementary level, we don't give a percentage grade.
I was just going to say that. My son's report card grade, awesome. There's like 80 different like substandards. I understand this would be significantly time consuming for a high school teacher. I mean, I have 150 students, but you know, when I look at my son's report card, I have a very clear understanding of where he's doing well. I have a very great understanding of where he needs improvement. There's narrative, there's every single standard, and I look at that and I'm like, that's what I want in high school. My English class is better than one line item. Honestly, the kids are showing so much more than a letter grade that means so little. It means very, very little, especially teaching an AP class basing off of college standards, and my kids aren't used to getting low grades at the beginning of the year, but they're not meeting even half of the standards by the first marking period because the level of achievement, the expectations are so high. So I'm like, you know, you got to wait till the end for it to matter, which is the truth anyway.
And hang in there.
Yeah. Just, you know, patience is very key, you know, when it comes to a lot of things. And I think writing especially, you know, it's not always obviously perfect, that first draft or that rough sketch, and you constantly got to be revising and redoing and adding and making revisions, obviously, along the way to kind of being patient to get to that final product. I think that's really important.
It's one of my pet projects right now, actually. I'm kind of bartering with the College Board to see if my students could submit portfolios instead of taking exams.
That would be
that's
so
awesome.
great.
I love that. Sounds great.
Gosh, that would be so great.
Starr, we may have to talk off the air. I have there's a startup that I'm working with that may be able to help in high school with their students. So when we go off the air, I don't want to go public with it yet, but let's discuss it off the air. Just remind me, because I think it might be something you'd be very interested in, because it's geared towards the high school students. So, but Jena, let's move to you real quick, because like Starr's in the classroom right now. She's also an author. Jena, your role's a little different, but you're in the classrooms a lot. I know you're in classrooms today. So why don't you just, if you can, share with our audience about your what you do when you go into classrooms and why you think both reading and writing is so impacting on the students today, and then we'll get deeper in the interview about what you're working on with your books.
Can I talk a little bit about writing itself?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I walked away from academia. I just said, enough already. You know, straight A student. I was in senior teaching graduate students writing. I didn't care. I couldn't stand the rigid rules and you have to think this way, because I realized even 20 years ago that my mind did not work linearly like that, and it was torture. And eventually I ended up creating my own writing classes, and I used nature and animals to teach kids how to write. And what I mean by that is, to me, writing is a tool for getting inside your mind, helping you understand who you are, what you like, how your mind works, where it wants to go, what kind of conclusions it wants to draw, and then there's no way you're really going to get there unless you let yourself noodle around in there. I think I call it noodling around. And so the way to do that is to get the kids out of their head, literally, so they can really listen to themselves and out into the natural world. So I developed a writing class for quote-unquote underachieving high school students who supposedly couldn't write at all and were, you know, troubled, blah, blah, blah. And I just said to them, I said, troubled my, boop, boop, you know, you guys, I don't care. I don't care if you can spell. I don't care if your grammar sucks. I can teach you that. What I can't teach you to do is think. So I want to know what's going on behind there, you know. So we went outside and we did things that, you know, no other writing teacher would ever have them do. I said, close your eyes. Oh, Ms. Jena, why do you want me to do that for? You know, and I give them a rock, or I'd have them draw. And they, why do we have to draw? This is a writing class. Well, because it teaches you to notice things. What does the leaf look like? What does the bug look like? Oh, you know, and by golly,
good point.
Their spelling sucked, their grammar sucked, but they were smart. And, you know, they started writing stuff that was really, I mean, I know Starr will relate to this. I mean, they started writing things that surprised and tickled and impressed me. And then I said, having given them some kudos and said, you know, you guys are great, and you're not stupid, you're not underachievers. I said, now, if you want people to respect you, you got to let me teach you how to do the grammar. You got to let me teach you how to spell, because otherwise people won't respect you. But what you wrote, what you think, who you are is wonderful, and I will celebrate that with you. But you don't get to slough off on the grammar and the spelling.
No, Jena, you're absolutely right, because, you know, it's funny because, like, you know, Kevin Honeycutt tells kind of the same story, you know,
Very
whether she was
similar, yep.
talking to in person. He talks about, you know, giving the kids the voice, you know, like, and it's interesting,
Well,
his
just what
tactic.
Starr said, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like Starr said, the interesting thing is his tactic's interesting because, like, he lets the kids write, and then he goes in. He says, "All right, let's publish this." He gives them the website where they can go put their information in. They publish it. Next thing you know, Kevin buys a book. It comes to school. He shows it to him. Oh man, the student starts going through like, oh my God, look at that misspelled word, bad grammar, punctuation. All of a sudden, it's important because other eyes are on it.
Yeah,
and just like, you know, like, and Drew and I talk about this a lot. You know, we agree that, you know, a lot of it is getting them to be genuine with their thought process and then getting it down. We can always revise and work on the conventions, but we got to get them into the comfort level where they're willing to write. Like, I know Drew has been working with this for a couple of years. You know, he mentions this about boys writing. We have a problem in elementary, more difficult time getting the boys
to write. Oh, okay.
Well, I think the main thing is that, you know, you got to get them excited about it.
Something,
you know?
And that's true. That's step one.
If they're passionate about it, just like anything in education, they're going to want to do it, and they're going to be totally engaged and totally into it. Don't you think, Brad? And I mean,
yeah,
you know, we've tried to find creative ways to do that.
And that's just it. You know, I mean, you know, mine and Drew's platform is student engagement. You know, I mean, we typically use technology and get creative to get the student engagement, to get the things we need out of kids. If we need conventional writing to get out of the kids, that's what our end result's going to be. But we might be creative in the way that we get them excited about it. If we can get them excited, you know, to author a book or pen something, you know, then we feel like we're a lot more successful because they've owned it. You know, we've heard that. You know, if they own it and they believe in it, then you're going to get something genuine out of it. So.
I also think that writing, Starr, correct me if you think it's something else, but I think that writing is just a great way to learn to study, think, discipline yourself. I mean, it's one of the best ways I've learned to get students to really knuckle down and do something.
I think
the kids that I taught, I mean, all their grades improved. It wasn't just their writing skills, you know. They got used to having to focus and pay attention and look at details. And
I feel like kids don't necessarily see the scope of the possibilities always because they associate so much of writing at school with academic essay writing. And
you're so right.
I mean, as somebody who teaches them right before college, and I'm the advisor for the newspaper at my school, like, even just getting them to shift gears between English class and journalism, and every time they call an article an essay, I cringe. And it's semantics, but at the same time, when you're writing an article, you're writing for an audience. When you're writing an essay, your audience is me, the teacher, and it's not terribly engaging. And I say to my students all the time, you know, I have to be interested to read 20 papers about the same topic. And
right.
You guys better be good at this.
You know,
so true.
You know, just because they want to convey information from a text doesn't mean it has to be boring and lack voice and lack sophistication in a way that will engage an audience. So, you know, my advisory is blogging now about their transition before college, and my AP students I try to really mix up the assignments. So they do an academic paper, the next paper after that is something creative, they make a movie, they do, you know, they did talk show segments for Animal Farm when we did that earlier in the year. And everything.
Now that's a great idea, isn't it? I like that one. Yeah,
synthesis activities, like once we're done with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, they'll be writing a 1-act play. And
sweet.
Very
to
cool.
me, like, that kind of stuff shows far more understanding of craft. It shows more understanding of language and how to wield it in some kind of creative, original way. And it also shows me how well they've understood the genre and the expectations of, you know, more standards and whatnot than any one paper really could. And I'm not to diminish the, you know, the importance of learning how to write academically, but I think if they're planning on being journalists, it's far less important for them to understand how to write a good thesis section of an introductory paragraph than it is to write an engaging lead.
True. So
you
true.
know what we haven't touched on, and I'm surprised I haven't brought it up because it's my big thing, you know, is writing.
We'll bring it up now.
taps the imagination. Every time I sit down to write a children's book, it's how can I get these kids to imagine with me what I want them to know.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't have that ability, because I didn't have videos and stuff when I was growing up, I read. If I didn't have that ability to create my own worlds inside my own head, I don't know what I would do. I think that writing's a great way to tap your own imagination. Don't you think, Starr?
Oh, I think it absolutely is. I would agree with that.
That's probably my biggest.
Well, the thing is there's I know we talk about this a lot. I mean, we think about the kids are very stimulated today. There's so much electronic things, and you know what? I mean, that's part of our profession as well. But we understand the value in imagination, especially at the young age. Imaginary play and using your imagination. The students.
Oh yeah.
More students that lack that imaginative play and stuff. And so you're right. Writing is a great way to share what's inside and to think and use your brain and visualize images. We talk about when we're writing, paint the picture is a phrase we use.
Absolutely. Make the movie.
Paint the picture. I always ask my students, can you see it?
It's a great way to put it. Yeah. Can you see it in your mind? Yeah.
See it
instead of being fed things all the time. Spend time inside.
Absolutely, so when I'm reading another author's book or I'm reading their writing and I say, can you see it? Can you when you hear something and you read it, what do you see in your head? It's like you should see a movie. You should see the story going along in your head. So we always try to think about how do you visualize it. So it's very important, and it's a big factor in their writing is can they imagine what they're seeing?
And is it tapping your emotional center?
Yes, I think
you know where I'm going with this. Empathy, compassion.
Yes, it is. So let's jump right to that. So, so Jenna, this question's for you. With all the misery and suffering and everything that's going on around us, it seems like with Venezuela and Ukraine and all that going on, it's just it's brutal. All the stories that you could have chosen to write about, why did you choose to focus on 8 goofy mixed breed dogs and their pack leader?
Is that Marty? No, Marty?
Marty's that goofy pack leader. No.
I didn't say it.
Right, that's
I didn't say that. That was Brad.
Hi, Marty. Love you.
Call me. Blame Brad.
Call me.
Oh no, not hashtag. Hashtag blame Drew. Okay.
Drew, you seem to be catching me.
That's such a hard question.
But you seem to take the heat.
He does all the time.
Drew.
But see, he's got the power switch. He can always turn everything off if he has to.
I can just mute Brad. It's okay.
Starr, you have no idea. I have been getting this for.
Here we go. Get out the violin.
I am just starting to dish it out in a way that I'm comfortable. Oh, anyway. Right, so Jenna, let's hear your.
You want to know why I chose dogs instead of about human suffering and.
It was a great explanation. I saw a picture that you tweeted yesterday. It was awesome. But talk about the emotional side of it and the compassion side of it.
So animals, to me, have always represented a direct access to my heart, my soul, my empathy, my compassion, and love. And so dogs are symbolic for me. They're a metaphor for something that we're trying to get our kids to understand, which is that if you care about other people and you're understanding and willing to cut them some slack for being different, then you're probably going to be a more respectful, responsible, caring human being that is going to take care of the planet as well. Mm-hmm. So that's sort of my goal with the books, except that each dog has their own little special issue or theme to be focused on. So in this one, the latest one, this is a misunderstood pit bull named Lance, who... I
got my copy too. Right here.
Yay! Okay, everybody,
there it is.
Lead with your heart. He's a pit bull, and if you know anything about pit bulls, people think they're vicious and mean and everything. And poor Lance, he's a lover, not a fighter, and he's just misunderstood, and people are prejudiced against him, and they assume that he's going to bite people. And so the kids rally around him and create a whole little program called Sit for a Pit, where they go out and get a petition signed to prevent bullying against the dog, essentially. But it taps into all these things, and the theme of the book is the people who are bullying him are not bad people, they're afraid. So how can we not make those people wrong, but help them stop being afraid? And the end, I don't want to spoil the end, but the end is really this wonderful moment where a child helps an adult understand you don't have to be afraid.
Yeah.
So,
what a wonderful message, and what a great way to deliver it. And I know, Jenna, me, you, Marty, we've talked about this. Really, education is all about storytelling. I mean, history is our earliest education was
true.
was tribes and families sharing stories
Sitting
together
around a campfire.
Yeah, absolutely. Instead of just
Brad remembers those days.
What? Marty and I, we were back
Marty and Brad sitting around the campfire.
when
Paintings on cave walls.
One or more of us may resemble that comment. I mean,
I was gonna say,
not like the youngest person.
Who's the one with the gray hair? Excuse me.
Oh,
don't get Brad started there.
Just to give yourself a little class. I know. But it's really about storytelling. That's why I love what authors do, because authors are carrying on a wonderful tradition. Because from the earliest ages, stories are being told when parents were telling their children, stay out of the woods so you don't get eaten by a wolf or something. But instead of just saying stay out of the woods, they've made a big story that they'd never forget. So it's just great. I love
stories are how we make sense of the world. I mean, if we don't tell each other stories, we don't understand each other, and we have all these walls up. But the second Starr tells her story, I understand her a lot better. I'm not as afraid of her or worried or threatened or all those kind of things. And that's really what we want to do with these books,
I think that that's also kind of why the format that I took with my book as well. Originally I was going to do a lot of research, and I had come up with the idea to talk about the myths that we have when we come into education, because I almost left education after 2 years of teaching.
Yeah, the title's long.
I worked in the inner city. I had no experience. I really got stuck with the kids that were considered the worst of the worst of the worst, and I had no skills to help them in the beginning, but they all saw something in me the same way I saw something in them, that we cared a lot about each other, and we kind of got through it together. And it was, my learning curve is very steep. I'm eager to do it right, so I tried a lot.
It shows you the power of relationships,
Yeah, no,
relationships. That's what it's all about. Yeah.
It's huge. And
so what's the mythology part? The title's so long, I can't.
Yeah, so Starr, tell us about your book. I know you're getting there, but let's go ahead. Just tell us about it, what it's about.
Yeah, I'd like to know about
why you wrote it, but tell us the meat and potatoes about it.
Well, it's 20 myths that new teachers generally have when they come into the profession. It's the kind of stuff that could pretty much end a career if you walk in expecting it to be some way, like, for instance, coming from where I come from, that teaching in the suburbs is going to be easier and better than teaching in the city, which after being in the suburbs for 2 years, I can tell you it is not. Or things like, you have to be able to reach every kid to be successful all the time, or you have to know everything about your content before you could get into a classroom and be successful doing it.
I know that one. Yeah,
or that, technology and social media have no place in a classroom because it blurs the lines between students and teachers.
There's a myth.
That is a myth. Yep.
What?
But it's still very prevalent.
Yes.
Oh, yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
20 myths that I did research. I had spoken to a lot of pre-service teachers and
talked
to them about their fears, their concerns, and it just basically led to this format where basically you get into the book and there's quotes from lots of teachers about what they were most afraid of coming into this field.
I gotta read this.
And basically, there's a lot of activities. I wrote it so that new teachers could kind of do a book circle, reflect about each one of the myths. There's no particular order you should do them in, just the ones that resonate with you the most, in whichever order works. They're short. You can read them on a lunch period and do a little reflecting, because the end of each chapter has about 5 to 10 reflection questions.
That's awesome. So
it is, isn't it? Should be required reading for new teachers.
Well, Seth Berg, actually, he's been a really awesome sort of supporter of everything that I do, and I'm very fortunate for that. And while I was writing over the summer, he's like, when is it coming out? I'm going to use it with my new staff. And I thought he was full of it, honestly. I thought he was being supportive and nice, which was awesome.
Stop being nice to me. Couldn't possibly be because you're intelligent and smart and writing a good book.
You know, Seth's a local. He's a local around here for Drew and I. He's a friend. You know, I had no idea you were connected to him. He's a great guy.
He's great, and he started using my book with his newbies, and
That's
they
awesome.
were reading it on Mondays, and he was sharing with me that they were really connecting with the stories, which kind of leads back to what Jena was saying. So when I was putting it together, there was like a definition of what the myth was, what the problem with the myth is, and then I go into an anecdote from personal experience that shows my misconception in itself and what it led to. And then,
are these all myths you've dealt with yourself?
Yes,
Oh,
they're
dear.
all personal. Like everything has like a personal story that goes with it.
Wow.
Plus, you know, how solutions for fixing the myths, really, to kind of sort of like you were saying, the fear, debunking them in some meaningful way that could offer people new perspective instead of being fearful. And it worked out so well that I started thinking about the second one that I'm going to do for middle career educators, because I think there are a lot of myths about folks in the position I'm in now after 13 years of teaching. You know, you get stuck. Like, that's one of the myths. Like, you're a middle career teacher and you can't change because this is the way you do things. And that's, excuse my, am I not allowed to curse? My natural inclination. I would say it in my classroom too. And it's just not right. You know, if you are a good, passionate educator, you're changing all the time. You're admitting your mistakes.
And you're learning with your students.
Exactly.
Every classroom's a different set of learning parameters. So
exactly.
So Starr, I know you've kind of touched on this, but how has you being a teacher made you a better writer?
Honestly, almost every single project that I take on has started in my classroom. The first book that I wrote, which was a YA young adult historical fiction novel, started as a model assignment I was doing with my 9th graders in Far Rockaway, which is the inner city. And they were just as Jena described. Great ideas, horrible writing, but what they had to offer was really, really special, and they were really stuck. We were reading The Red Scarf Girl, and I was like, all right,
book about Mao, the Cultural Revolution?
Yup. So
yeah, okay.
I started writing about this girl, May, and I kind of mixed the two cultures.
Nice.
She escaped from the Cultural Revolution to America in the 60s, kind of wound up in San Francisco in the like the Haight-Ashbury sort of area. I'm kind of a deadhead sort of person, so.
Nice.
You heard her describe herself like that, okay? None of us did it.
Drew, it's the Grateful Dead. It's a band. You've probably never heard of them. Never mind.
Huh?
Say what? What's that?
I just barely made it, Drew, just so you know. I got to my first show when I was 14, and they died by the time I was 18.
Aww.
Oh.
I was about to say, they've been gone since probably long as Drew's been alive. It's been a long time.
I'm sorry, Drew.
I'm not. I'm not.
It's okay.
Jena,
Yeah.
I get it. I not only get it on air, I get it in person.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Down there and walk
Like
in
I
and
said,
Get
where
the
are the
violin.
violins?
Get the violin out.
The
All right,
violin
you know what?
one.
I'm done with that. All right.
Get some
Drew,
cheese
I'm
with that
busting in
wine.
your
That
room.
just wine.
I'm going to bust in your room tomorrow, and you're going to jump out of your seat because I'm not going to be quiet when I come in. All right? Just know,
I'll
right
believe
now.
it when I see it.
Kramer's coming in tomorrow morning. You just wait, Jerry.
Threats,
Oh my
idle
God.
threats. All I can say is I'm glad I'm far away from your school.
Oh man, things get out of
Hey,
control.
Marty's going to be here in less than a week. Marty will be here. So
Well,
Yes,
it
he
won't
will.
be quiet, I can guarantee that.
Too funny.
So what
All
else
right.
do you guys want to talk about?
well,
We want to ask
asked-
you what
Yeah,
your
go ahead,
favorite
Drew.
books are. I want to hear what your favorite books are. Jena, why don't we start with you? Just
You want
as a
one or
writer,
many?
what's your favorite book?
Well, you know what? Pick a favorite and then give us a couple other good reads that you want to shout out.
Well, I've been crazy passionate about and writing classes and teaching about nature for the longest time, and you'll laugh at me, but this book, which is now out of print, is like my favorite book of all time. It's called Being There, and it has 50 of the best nature writers like Rick Bass and Rachel Carson and Scott Russell Sanders and Sue Hubble, and I don't know if you've heard of any of these people, but it's not just about nature. It's about the art of writing about nature.
Awesome.
And there's something that just, it's like you can open any of these essays and you're taken into another world. And not only the world, but the author's thought process about it. So anyway, this is like my, I mean, I know it sounds strange, but
I'm
I'm
laughing
also
at myself because she's talking about going into another world, and I'm like an AP Lit teacher who will tell you my all-time favorite books to read are the Harry Potter series.
Yes.
Hello, yeah. Well, they're not my favorite, but I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love F. Scott Fitzgerald. Don't get me wrong.
But yeah, me too.
But
you guys like Outlander?
Outlander?
The Outlander series?
No.
Well,
You don't know the Outlander? Oh my. So
Go ahead.
I'm also a huge fan of poetry. Does anybody like poetry? Look, I can look at the look on your face. It's like, oh God, here she goes. I hope she doesn't recite anything.
Brad's a poet.
Here we go.
Mary Oliver, David Wagner, Rumi. So those are some of my other favorites. And then I've got this whole other shift in thinking, you know, Daniel Pink and Malcolm Gladwell and.
There you go. Now we're talking with Daniel Pink. I know Daniel Pink.
Yeah, well, people that are sort of on the edge of thinking about where we're going. I particularly like writers who write about design thinking because I find that fascinating.
Very good.
Very cool.
All right, so Starr, give us one of your favorite reads, and then just a couple other good recommendations.
Like I said, if I'm going strictly academic, like recently I've been.
Oh no, we're just going book period.
No,
we're just going.
Nope.
No, you can go
I
wherever.
deliberately walked away from that,
You
but
can
you
take
can
this
go ahead.
any way you want to, Starr.
Well, I read a lot of what I see my students reading. Like when I see
what?
them excited about something, I kind of like to see what the buzz is. So everybody's into John Green these days.
Oh, he is wonderful. I have read all his books. Yeah.
Probably my favorite of all of them is The Fault Is in Our Stars,
Fault
which was
in Our
a great
Stars.
read. And I think part of the curse of being an English teacher is I could predict plots 30 pages in. You read so much that you pretty much just, you could tell what's going to happen, and the kids are always very surprised that I'm like halfway through and I'm like, she's going to die.
I know what's going to happen.
You know,
I'm
She's
the
dead.
opposite. I get to the last page, I'm still trying to figure it
dead
out.
meat.
I'm like, man, I had no idea. That's so cool. I can't believe I did it. That's the coolest thing. I didn't believe it.
That's why Brad's fun to watch a movie with, I'm sure. He's like one of those guys
Wait, it can't end like that.
You mean you didn't know he could see dead people? Because
I never saw that movie, but I did hear that's what it was. I had no idea he was seeing
I could tell from the trailer that he could
I had no idea. I had no idea.
That's so funny.
I saw RoboCop this weekend. I didn't know he was half robot.
Oh my God.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, but I'm kidding.
So,
kidding.
It was
I
set
didn't know
in
Harry
charge.
Potter was a wizard.
I didn't realize. I was watching the movie and I saw myself on the street doing this.
Oh my
I didn't even
God.
know I was in the movie. So go see it. I'm like
you can't
34
take him
minutes, 12
anywhere.
seconds in. So But
I'm glad everyone gets to see
Starr,
it.
what do you think of the Hunger Games series?
I couldn't get into it.
Oh, I
Honestly.
really enjoyed it.
I
What
read
about Divergent? Have you guys tried that?
what?
What's that?
It's like
really?
the new trilogy, Divergent.
Oh, okay.
Divergent. He
Thank
didn't
you.
say virgin.
I heard-
I saw
Thank
where your
you.
brain was
I
going.
heard what he said.
You know,
I'm
sometimes
like, I'm
you
not
just can't
touching
help
that one.
yourself.
No, I haven't tried it, Drew. What kind of show do you think this is? Next.
Starr.
Said
Yeah.
something about his
Have you read
I
that?
understood
We're
immediately.
just going to ignore the other two.
No, I haven't. I think the last bunch of stuff that I read was by Rainbow Rowell. About like I read Fangirl and I read what was the other one? Eleanor and Park, which was really good. And now I'm reading Paper Towns by John Green. But I have this 100-book challenge this year. I'm trying to integrate the pedagogical books in the mix. So basically what I do is I read a fiction book, then I read a pedagogical book. And then since I know there's another fiction book waiting, it sort of forces me.
Tantalizes you.
There you go.
to
Like a carrot in front of your nose. Come on, you can do it.
But you know what? I have to admit, though, the few ones that I've read so far, like I said, the one by Ken O'Connor about grading really blew my mind. I thought I was going to go into it like just as a validating sort of read, kind of like Dave Burgess's Teach Like a Pirate, like totally got it, validating what I do already, awesome, 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 moving on. And there were like 3 of the 15 things that he had on there that just really tipped me on my side as far as my own thoughts and practices. And it's still lingering with me still, and it's really forcing me to think about a lot of things that I do that I need to do differently. And
I like that.
You know, I love anything.
It's a mark of a good book.
What?
It's a mark of a good book.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, all right. So those of you who are just joining us, I know most of you have been with us, but we are with Starr and Jena, 2 amazing authors, talking about their books on the Two Guys Show for the EdReach Network. All right, so let's, well, I'm going to throw in one book. I'm still very old school on the books I like to read. My favorite all time is the Foundation series by Isaac Asimov.
Oh, my.
I read those over and over because if you've read those, there's so much going on and so many characters to follow. But it's one of my all-time favorites. When I'm not reading the Foundation, I'll read the Lord of the Rings and kind of go back and forth. But so let's move on a little bit. We have 2 great segments left. We have PLN shoutouts, and then we have what's on your playlist. So we'll start there. Why don't we do the PLN shoutouts first? We'll go Jena, Starr, Drew, and myself, and then we'll do the playlist. So Jena, why don't you jump in and give us your shoutouts, your PLN shoutouts for tonight?
All of them?
Well, okay, let's keep
How
it
many
to...
can I have?
Let's try to keep it to 3. Brad will go to 25, but let's try.
I know,
because
I watched him do it one week. Okay, so
one
we
week.
just had the reason.
Every week.
Yeah, every week, 1 week, 1 segment. So we just had this wonderful, wonderful time traveling across the United States, meeting cool people that we knew on Twitter. So first of all, my shout out goes to Marty Kelts for being such an inspiration and support in everything that I do. He's a great business partner and a great friend. And then to Starr, to Gwen, to Tom Murray, to Tom Whitby, to
Good ones.
These are all people that this is your first one, right? People that you've liked.
Christina.
I know that.
Sharon Plant.
Met her at FETC. Yep.
One that really bears, a whole, and I'll quit after this, is Daisy Marino in Texas. Works with a group of educators, and we started with one little Critterkin reading, and then we went to drawing with 55 4th graders, and then we went to telling stories to a whole 100 kids, and now we're going to do a whole mural at the school based on the Critterkin stories. And we are integrating it with the Humane Society, so they're taking the kids' drawings and stories, putting them on the cages of the dogs that need to be adopted, and helping the kids see that if you do things, you can actually make a difference in the life of a dog. So
that is awesome.
Bravo to Daisy for being such a she's such a supporter.
Daisy's awesome. And anybody that's paying attention, anybody that wants to tweet Daisy about this, you need to ask her about the bunnies.
The bunnies?
Well, I'm telling you, she was talking with Terry and myself and some others about an augmented reality project she was doing, and she didn't realize autocorrect changed one of her words to bunnies. So it was just, it got totally out of control last night. So everybody's asking about the bunnies. So Craig, Paul,
I
Shelley,
can hardly
Brian,
wait.
Marty, everybody tweet Daisy about the bunnies. I see you're right now watching, so tweet her about the bunnies, okay?
Be sure and mention Mary Alice, too, because she's been a superb supporter in sending teachers our way to read. So I'm done now. I'm not going to say one more thing for now.
Oh,
no.
Starr.
That's a great shout out.
Okay,
how it works.
I'm gonna keep mine to folks that I have either spoken to or seen in person, because there are so many people. I don't want to feel like I'm leaving anybody out.
Yeah.
Of course, it's like the Oscars. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So since I started writing the first book, since I wrote the book, Dr. Michael Kern from Rider University, him and we have standing Wednesday morning conversations now where we talk.
Cool.
He teaches pre-service students, teachers.
Wow.
So he's been
what a great mentor
and supporter. Michelle Corbett, who
great one.
We've also become, like, I feel like we're.
Uh-oh, we lost her.
Oh, lightning strike.
Apparently they're really good friends.
It looks like there's a really bad smell over there. I don't know, Brett. The look on your face.
Jena, that's how he looks all the time.
Okay.
I blame Drew still. What can I say? Here she is.
Hey, she's
Come
back.
back and save us from ourselves, Starr.
Yeah, sorry guys, my connection just died.
That's okay.
It's all right.
It was Drew's fault.
We took an opportunity to tease one another. Go ahead.
We lost you when you were talking about Michelle Corbett.
Yeah,
I don't know her.
she's really, really awesome. She does
awesome.
Cold Chat. I started talking with her over the summer because I happened upon Cold Chat when it was happening in the morning.
Awesome.
And she and I really hit it off, and then we had the same one word for this year, which was action. And I had the opportunity to do an interview for a job, and she was, she's elementary. I know nothing about elementary, and I was like, would you have time to talk to me about some tips for stuff that can make me sound like I know something about elementary? And
I hope you got the job.
oh no, I did. To be honest with you, it was the first job I ever went into not really wanting, which kind of really gave me a lot of freedom in the.
Isn't that nice?
It's true. Actually, that's a
Seriously,
great
though, when you can
practice,
go into an interview and it's like you don't really need that job, you just feel like more like yourself.
Exactly. So and I was a lot more relaxed than I normally would have been, and it really did. I think they were very impressed with my the way that I use technology in my classroom, but I definitely was not interested in the job by the time the interview was over anyway. So
It worked out.
she was really, really awesome. She is really awesome. I talked to, I started talking to a bunch of other folks outside. Brad Curry from SatChat. Him and I started doing an Ed Perspective show together, like admin, teacher, point, counterpoint kind of stuff.
Nice.
And he's been really, really awesome too. And then the folks that I co-moderate Sun Chat with, Barbara Madden and
she's the best, yeah.
Jamie Arnon, and then on Thursdays I do a Jerd chat, which is Journalism Educators with Lisa Snyder, who's also really amazing. So that's my short.
You're busy.
Folks.
That's good. I love when we hear people we know, and I love hearing about people I did not know about. So thank you for sharing. That's awesome. Hey, Drew, I think you're up.
I am up, and I'm going to give a shout out to a couple of people I hung out with tonight and had a great conversation with. One is former guest in front of the show, obviously one of our co-workers, Brad. Michael Medvinsky came in my room after school today, and
great guy.
I'll tell you what, hanging out with that guy, I just feel smarter every time I do it. Honestly, that guy he gets it. What a
nice,
awesome, just person to have in education. He would be a blast to have as a teacher. He really would.
Yeah,
and so we met
in the district. Yeah, and his daughter's in my class. He's a great guy, great family.
Yes, definitely. And we met with our PTO this afternoon.
PTO is what?
PTO, Parent Teacher Organization. Okay. To discuss different parent workshops that we're going to start doing, trying to educate the parent community on different innovative technologies, 21st century education, social media and education, the works, and we're gonna we started doing. I ordered a book today, so we're gonna do kind of a book group, kind of with some of the parents as well, talk about social media and with their teenagers and trying to educate them and kind of educate them on how we're using it in the classroom and everything, just to kind of bring everyone onto the same page and get them inspired for kind of education moving forward. And one of those parents or people that we met with was Stephanie Kreider, and she is at KreiderBiz. I'm going to tweet this out right now so everyone can give her a follow. I think I actually already tweeted it out, so check those out. KreiderBiz. Did I tweet it out? Maybe not.
I didn't see it.
Well, it's going out now.
I'm not looking.
And
because I can't multitask.
And then
I'm not very good at it. I have to go like this. I'm looking at my iPad.
I don't know if I've and everybody can totally tell that I'm not paying attention, so go ahead. Sorry.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
And then the last one is I'm not shouting out a person, but I'm shouting out a company. Erasma. I'm gonna definitely give them their due. We haven't had the chance to give them a shout out on the show, but everyone knows how we feel about Erasma, obviously. We had a chance to have a great phone call yesterday with the general manager.
Yeah.
And just the things they got going and talking about South by Southwest, and it's just really exciting stuff. So I can't wait for everyone to hear about that soon. So definitely a shout out to Erasma and everything that they do. And just obviously, you know, everyone knows how we feel about them. So
Absolutely.
those are my three.
Well, that's great. Yeah, Rasma reached out to us last week. They set up a call with us to just talk about some upcoming things, which was great. So we greatly appreciate that. They obviously, like Drew said, they know how we feel about Erasmus, and it was very kind of them to reach out to us. We appreciate that. So great, huge shout-outs to Erasmus. All right, so I do have three. I might mention a fourth name, but anyways, maybe
What a
seven.
surprise.
Just thinking South by Southwest. So Drew, I got a text from Jeremy. You know Jeremy, Geo
Good. Yeah, absolutely.
He texted today. He's at South by Southwest. He was asking if you were coming down. He wanted to meet up. He did a session today, and it was great. So shout out to him, Jeremy. He runs Geo Media, which is it's an amazing programming company, augmented reality company, all kinds of stuff down in San Antonio, Texas. So, but two people I want to shout out right now are Jackie Mulkey. You can find her at Jackie Mulkey, JackieMulky. She tweeted out a augmented reality bulletin board today. It was really awesome.
A what?
And, this big display in her classroom with augmented reality on it, which is
cool. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Yeah.
It was all the students. I'll try to retweet that again. It was on my feed earlier today.
Yeah, I retweeted it earlier too.
Yeah, it was cool. All the students made an original piece, and everything had
neat.
an aura on it, which was really
neat.
awesome. So, and then the next person is Drew Frank. You can find him at.
I thought you were gonna shout me out.
I met Drew Manock. He's a great guy.
Drew Frank's okay too.
I like Drew Frank too.
Me
Drew
too.
Frank's awesome.
I'll
Drew
shout out
Frank.
with you.
At UGA Frank,
He's great.
he just got introduced to augmented reality, and he was shouting it out through Twitter tonight, which was really cool. And then here's one, and Drew, you saw this last night. I dropped a text into the group chat last night. Shout out to Katie Groves. You can find her at Katie Groves, CADYGROVES. And Craig or somebody, I want you guys to shout her out.
Blow it up.
Blow it up.
We want to try and get Katie Groves on the show.
Yeah, so Katie Groves is an amazing singer. She's an artist.
Oh, cool.
She has some amazing music. I'm gonna put one of her songs out tonight on a playlist. My I asked Marcy to set up a call with her last night. Next thing I know, Katie tweeted me last night and said, "Hey, what do you want with me?" So we chatted for a while, chatted about the show. So she's in. She wants to come on. We just got to set it up. So big shout out to Katie Groves. So Twitter world, blow that up. Let her know we're talking about her and said hi. So those are my shout outs for the night. So
wow, you sure?
Well, you know, I
don't, Jenna, don't.
Okay,
don't
sorry.
Do it.
You
open up a can of worms.
So moving right along.
Kelly, Craig, Ted, Paul.
I knew it.
There we go.
Lauren. Let's see who else. We got
Jenna, Marty, Starr.
Teresa, everybody. You know, everybody who's watching the show tonight.
Shelly Moses.
So, there you go. Huge shout outs.
Sorry, Brad.
Perfect.
I love it. It's all good. All right, so now I need to properly, for those of you who are just joining us on the Two Guys Show with the EdReach Network with Starr and Jenna and my co-host Drew, the best segment of the night, What's on Your Playlist? So we're going to hear what everybody's listening to. This is such a popular segment of the show. We got to do it upright. People always want to know what everybody's listening to, so here's our time to shout out. So, Starr, why don't we start with you? Give us some songs that are on your playlist that you want to shout out right now.
Wow, what was I listening to before? The kids and I were joking about that One Direction song earlier today. The one about his life.
Story of My Life?
Yeah,
Story of My Life.
Okay.
Story of My Life. That's a good one.
The irony here is that, you know, I'm a 36-year-old person who only listens to stuff that my parents used to listen to, like classic rock kind of stuff. So newer stuff sort of like, I only started getting into it when my son started listening to Kids Bop. And
right.
I hear everything from like the other end.
Been there.
Now.
That's funny.
But, you know, during this time of year, I could get into, I don't get into the Dead again until the summer. That's my summer listening. He's really
Each baby,
right now,
baby
so
lie in the sand.
we were listening to Run Like an Antelope the other day from Fish.
Fish,
Another
man,
fish
Fish,
fan.
Oh yeah, fish.
Fish
Yeah.
gets play on this show. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
Everybody loves fish, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good one. Recently, I did something that was totally out of character. I went to see Jay-Z, which was
Oh
something
my, how was that?
Nice.
different.
You
This
bet.
is the way that she describes Jay-Z.
Yes.
Well,
I
no,
can't
it's
imagine
actually,
why.
to be honest with you, over the years, I've started developing a really, he's really talented writer. And I knew a lot more than I thought I did, which was kind of cool. Which made me feel sort of young, but still old.
Sophisticated.
Wow.
Sophisticated, not old. Sophisticated.
There you go. There's a better word, Jenna.
There you go. There
Sophisticated,
you go.
yes. I mean, but then
Like
again,
fine wine and all that, you know.
yeah, well, you know,
Well-aged wine at 36. Jeez.
a decade
Such a
ago, I
baby.
saw,
Oh my God. Brrr, Drew, it just
I
happened.
know.
Just
It's
happened.
late.
happened.
What can I say?
Here it goes.
Funny.
Here it goes. Oh my God. I love it. Starr, I have no idea. Did you get all of them in?
No, it's fine. I'm good.
Don't blame her. Would you
Come
want
on.
to say any more?
Oh my
Drop
God.
another one. Drop another one, Starr. Come on,
Yeah,
one more.
come on, one more.
Well, I know that Bob Dylan's coming out with like
Dylan.
some retrospective very, very soon too.
Dylan, yeah.
Which Bob Dylan's one of my all-time
Yes,
favorite
yes,
writers.
He's an artist, Drew. He's a singer.
Oh my
Oh. I think almost everything on my playlist might outdate Drew, to be honest.
Oh, God. He's
I
on
love
board,
it.
Brad. You
I
got it
love
real
it.
good. He's
I
on
love it. Honk, here comes the bus. Wham! There you go, Drew.
But you know what? In all fairness, everything on my playlist really outdates me also, so I can't.
Yeah.
I
It
can't.
doesn't
Thank you.
update me.
You're
God.
gonna
Way to recover. Way to
discriminate,
recover.
That was
so.
a good recover. That was good. That was good.
I will have you know that my Spanish teacher pulled me aside yesterday as we were leaving school and goes, "Wow, you have a lot of gray hair." It's like, well, thanks.
That is true.
It's the
Thanks,
first time I've
Nancy.
heard
I feel
somebody
better about
proud of him.
myself.
You know
I have
what?
only two.
It's so true, because whenever I get grief from Drew, I always say, you have more gray hair than I do. It's true. It's true.
But
I have
Brad
no
dyes his hair.
comment.
So anyway,
I don't dye my hair. That's
Moving
all.
on.
natural. Look at that. Look at that. That's the new haircut.
yeah, we
How
see
much
it.
product have you got in your hair?
Oh, I don't have any. That's natural.
Oh my gosh.
Natural.
The shine is somehow.
Okay, I got a little bit. It's not much. I can go through it, you know.
Stands
You
up
should
on
see
its
him when
own,
we-
you know. I mean,
When we go out to present, it's just sad how much product he's got to do. He takes 35 minutes to get ready. It's
Oh,
I want
awful.
hair
I
like
tell you that
Star's.
from the
I
second
love
wake
your
up
hair,
to the
Star.
second- From the second I wake up till the second I leave isn't even 35 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You and I
Me
both.
either. I
And
can't
that
be
includes
bothered with
showering.
it.
Drew, oh my God. I will, you know what? Drew will get up. I'll get up, go down, have a swim, and still get ready before Drew's done.
False.
Like we believe that.
Yeah.
Let's see his hair and yours again. Come on.
Hey, Drew can confirm this.
What are those white flakes, Drew? I mean, have you?
Those are
Yeah,
gray hair.
Drew, you're white flash.
Oh, sorry.
Drew can confirm
Either
this.
I've got a really bad case of dandruff or I'm old.
I go swimming every morning before we present, and I'm still ready on time.
That's
you
excellent.
go.
If you're a swimmer,
Started that at ISTE, didn't we, Drew? Had
Yes,
to.
we did.
Had to.
Okay,
Been-
I'm gonna try and keep this show on the tracks a
Go
little
ahead.
bit here.
Come on. All right, come on.
Crying out loud before
All right, so
Brad
Jenna,
just
give us
plunges
something,
into the
Jenna.
next room.
okay.
Um,
So I'm gonna. Shall I go or not?
Yep.
Who's going next? Okay. I want to mention someone whom I have had the great good fortune to get to know a little bit, and who is not all that well known, but should be. His name is Justin Hines, and the song that I love that the most that he does is called "Say What You Will," and it's all about being, don't spend your time complaining and talking about things that don't matter. Say what you need to say, the important things like "I love you," you're the best person, whatever, the things that you need to say to the people you love. So I love that song, Say What You Will.
Awesome.
It's wonderful. And then this is an old favorite I'm sure you'll recognize, is The Story by Brandy Khalil. Do you know the story?
Nope.
These lines on my face tell me the story of who I am. All of these lines. You haven't heard of it?
Nope.
Okay, well, it's a great song. It's all about how the lines in your face tell you the story of who you are, right? All right, it's an old person song. And then Beyonce. Did you see her sing at the UN?
Who's that?
I was here.
That.
Beyonce. If you haven't seen it, it's stunning. She walks out in a white dress with this huge screen behind her, and the name of the song is "I Was Here." I want to prove that I've done something with my life by the time I leave this planet, and it's just phenomenal. Just
Very
phenomenal.
cool.
And then the last one is Beethoven's Pathetique, just because I love it.
Well, there you go. Boom.
Oh God, Drew, you're such.
All right. So mine, I tweeted one of them out already, but I recently got the album by The Fray, came out last week. Great album.
The Fray?
Yeah, The Fray. The first one is Wherever This Goes. Great song. I'm actually going to shout out two from their album. The other one is Hold My Hand by The Fray, which is another really good song. And then the last one is by Snow Patrol. I actually got it right, Brad. And
Yeah,
it's
you did.
their new song
Yes,
By-
good job, Drew.
from the soundtrack of Divergent, Brad.
Oh, God.
Divergent, the book. Their new soundtrack for that movie.
He's weaving
coming
things
out.
together here at the end. That's very good.
Yes, thank you.
Books, music.
So, Snow Patrol, it's called I Won't Let You Go.
I won't let you
So I
go.
just tweeted those YouTube videos out, so definitely check them out.
Awesome, great job. So because I can't quite multitask like Drew, I'm going to need Craig or Drew or somebody to tweet these out. So the first one, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to on the playlist. Oh Darling is the name of the song by Plug-in Stereo and Katie Groves. I'm going to go ahead and put that out. That's probably her most well-known song. She has many more that are incredible, but it's a duet between Plug-in Stereo and Katie Groves. It's great. That was the first song I heard of hers, and her voice is just incredible. So Oh Darling by Plug-in Stereo and Katie Groves. Second one is... I heard this on my playlist recently. Just love it. Little Talks by Monsters and Men. Love that song. It's a great one.
Little Talks?
Little Talk
Talks. Yep,
Little
great
Talk.
song.
by Monsters and Men.
Okay.
And then this is a new one. Oh, I've only heard it a few times on satellite, but it is just so cool. I love it. It's called Can We Kick It by 3 a.m. Tokyo. So Can We Kick It by 3 a.m. Tokyo. I was singing it a little earlier today, and my two boys go, do you know any other line, Dad? And I'm like, no, I don't. All I know is the chorus. I don't know anything else yet. But it's a lot of fun. So
Is it in English?
it is. It is in English. I'm not sure why their name is 3 a.m. Tokyo. There's probably a story behind it. I'm guessing that's maybe when the band formed. I have no idea. But it's a fun song, and we like to talk about fun songs
Yeah.
and stuff.
I love this part of the show.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. And a shout out to Project Dirty, Micah and Rhett, as always. They're doing
Absolutely.
good stuff in LA. We're working on a Detroit show. They're coming
good.
to Michigan, to
They're
do an
good.
album. Yeah, they're going to do it. We're looking at an album release party and stuff like that. So incredible. So that's great news. So that's the shout out. So Drew, why don't you start wrapping things up, and then we'll just start closing the show.
Yeah, definitely. You guys can find us on our blog, as always, at twoguysandsmypads.com. Head on over to iTunes and subscribe to the podcast over there and leave some good comments. You can find us on Facebook. Head on over there and give us a like. I think we're within 10 of 500 likes, so definitely
Go like
head
us.
on over and do
Ooh,
that.
yeah. Excellent.
Pinterest, Scoop It. I mean, any
Yeah,
social media outlet. Definitely check us out on those. So yeah, excited for next week. We get Marty coming into town, Todd coming into town,
Oh, boy.
Leslie Fisher on the show next Tuesday night. We have McCall.
Fantastic.
Big week next week. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jena, how can we find you? What's your contact information?
Critterkin.com. Critter as in animal, kin as in family.
Oh gosh, and it's Critter with a C. Oh my gosh.
Yes, with a C.
Jena laughed so hard when she was coming into my room a few months ago, and we were setting up all the Google Hangout and stuff, and I created an event, and I started with the K, and her and Marty came into my room and just started teasing me. I started to cry, but I didn't let her see it. No. But it was.
I saw the kids
funny.
handing you the tissues. You were busted.
Oh yeah, they're used to that. Oh, Mr. Wade's crying again. Oh, just kidding. So it's Critterkin with a
Yes.
C. So,
But the
all right,
kin with a K. You got
Yeah,
it almost right.
I thought it was going to be like KK, you know, but I was wrong. So, all right. So anyway, all right. So
Good thing I
Starr,
didn't think of that.
how can we find you? I know that they've been tweeting out your stuff already, but how can we find you?
Well, at Miss Saxstein, I would say that Twitter is my my drug
Preferred?
of choice.
Your
if
home
you
away
will.
from home.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my So Miss Saxstein, that's usually the best way to get me. But I mean, I'm on all the others too, Facebook and Google.
Where's the best way to get your book? I want to read it.
Yeah, we've tweeted
yeah.
it, but yeah.
If you check
Okay,
out our
never mind, I'll
blog,
check
there's a
your-
link to it as well.
You could
No,
get
go
it
ahead,
on
Tom.
Lulu. It was published through Lulu. It's an ebook, so you need
Oh
to
yeah, okay.
Yep.
e-reader to make that magic
Perfect.
happen. But since they did all the upgrades on Macs, also you could read it on your computer as well as anything.
Fantastic.
Google,
Okay.
Google Books you could read it on also.
Okay.
You could get it on iTunes. You could get it. You could basically get it anywhere you could buy stuff online except Amazon, I think.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
there's a page
Fantastic.
on my blog, which is just starsaxstein.com. Really.
Yeah, I have that bookmarked, so I'll go there. I just haven't looked at the books. Okay. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Well, we'd like to. Well, thank you, Starr, and thank you, Jena, for joining us tonight on the EdReach Network for another amazing episode of the Two Guys Show. We really appreciate your
It was
time.
wonderful.
Absolutely.
As usual.
Too much fun.
Well, Drew and I have, our calendars coming up. He just talked about Marty's coming in Monday, Todd's coming in Tuesday, Leslie's on the show on Tuesday. We present at McCall with
Oh, wow.
Todd and Aaron, and then I'll be going out of town the week after that, and then we have some other big events that we're working on throughout the school year. And we'll also be at ISTE, we'll be at Houston. We're going
You're
to
going to do another Critterkin reading
doing another Critterkin reading.
Cool.
with Todd.
Oh, you are with Todd.
No,
Awesome.
both
What?
classes together. Prepare thyself.
Nice.
She doesn't even know about it.
They're probably figuring that out. I'm not in the loop yet, so I know how Drew feels.
Marcy probably knows.
Marcy knows. Shout out to my secretary, Marcy.
Yeah, shout out to Marcy.
Marcy's a rock star. She is awesome. I
She's
couldn't do a lot of the things without her. She's awesome. If you would like to contact Drew and I about any events or keynoting featured speakers, you can contact us through Twitter, email, go through our contact page. You can also get information on us about Best Keynote, best-keynote.com. And new segment, my hair is brought to you by Pantene tonight. So I've been seeing, I say that because if anybody's watching the feed tonight, it's pretty ridiculous about needing new hair sponsors for Brad. So my hair is brought to you by Pantene tonight. So huge shout out to them. So,
If I only had a bottle. Oh, God.
so
This is my
once again,
favorite.
thank you to Jena. Thank you, Starr. Drew, thank you. I always enjoy hosting with you. Have a great night, everyone.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you from the two guys. Thank you from the EdReach Network. Thank you to everyone who joined us on Twitter. Enjoy us on the podcast, and we will touch base with you soon. Stay connected, our friends.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks so
Bye.
much. Bye-bye.
Bye.